Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a little bit of a look at a couple of Pokémon V. The 100 start decks have now gone and been revealed properly, and there are a couple of Pokémon V in there we've not seen before, so this seems like a pretty good time to have a pretty good look at them. Could this be good? Could be. Let's have a gander. So starting off then, we've got Zarude, not the first Zarude V we've had, of course, but this one has a little bit of a chance to be a particularly interesting Pokemon. Now, translations here, I should mention, do come from the lovely Antoine Boulet, and what we've got here is 220 HP, which is, that's generally what they have. That's the average for a Pokemon V, so yay, that's fine. Retreat cost of 2 is not ideal, but Air Balloon will give free retreat, so that's not terrible. And weakness to fire, it's honestly fine. Because the biggest issue you've got is Victini, but Victini's going to do 220 to a Pokemon V, so it's going to get you anyway. Chill, you're fine. Being a grass Pokemon's not amazing, I'm sorry about that. Now, in terms of the first attack, we've got Vine Swing, 30 to the active, 30 to one of your opponent's bench. And in prior formats, attacks like this have been really, really good. I mean, it's Landorus. It's legitimately just Landorus. And Landorus was great. Now, few things to note. Firstly, Landorus was a fighting Pokemon, which at the time meant it could take advantage of a bunch of cards like Strong Energy, which meant it was never really doing 30. Here, you can have Vitality Band to do 40, but that's about it. Also, there were a lot of 60 HP Pokemon around at the time. That's not really the case nowadays. Nowadays, a lot of evolving basics tend to be 70, which means you're not going to be two hitting those evolving basics, which is huge because, you go second, you hit them for 30, they then have a single turn your opponent does to try and get an evolution, and if they don't evolve in one turn, you will get a KO and win. Well, maybe not win, but at least start taking out their evolving Pokemon. The good news is that with the rotation of Mew, the bench has no protection right now, so you can start going after the bench, which is lovely, and this could always be combined with something like Inteleon to start dropping extra damage. I mean, anything can be combined with Inteleon, that thing's nuts, but there is potential here. There is potential for spreading around some damage, getting some cheeky KOs, and kind of doing what Landorus did. Except, I'm not sure it's ever going to be close to being as good as Landorus because of all the help the Landorus had at the time. I'd like to be wrong though. But we've also got a really nice second attack as well. 2 grass, 1 colourless, 120 damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon V, this attack does 100 more damage. It's Victini! Free energy, 220 against a Pokemon V. Now, it's not quite Victini V Max. It's close. It's very close. But you need a third energy. And this worries me. See, the thing with Victini is, back in the day you had Welder. We are soon going to have that new stadium that will accelerate an energy. And it is just 2 energy. 2 energy it's just at that stage where you can kind of manually attach and you'll be alright in a bunch of games. Free energy isn't. Free energy is the point where you really need to have something to start accelerating energy. And obviously, the best way to accelerate energy is Cherrim. And obviously, Cherrim doesn't work. Because Cherrim only works on Pokemon that don't have a rule box. This has a rule box. So, Rillaboom? But then you're mucking about of stage 2. And Rillaboom will work, but you're mucking about of stage 2. Now, if you can get Rillaboom out consistently, I actually really like this with Rillaboom. I think it's really good. I love the idea of accelerating 2 energy, attaching a third, and just crushing Pokemon V. Because Pokemon V Max might be going away, but they're just being replaced by Pokemon V Star. And what that means is that Pokemon V aren't going anywhere. Pokemon V are here to stay. And sure, once your opponent evolves up, but then again, Pokemon V Star are a subsection of Pokemon V. What that means is you will be hitting 220 against Pokémon V and Pokémon V Star, and then for what it's worth, Pokémon V Max. And that's kind of cool. I mean, I showed you Shaman the other day. Shaman's only got 250. We go up to stuff like Arceus, which has 280. But with a little bit of Inteleon or something along those lines, we could be one-hit KOing Pokemon V Star here. And I find that very, very interesting indeed. I do think it's more awkward once your opponent has gone and evolved, don't get me wrong. But I do think there is real potential here to have a really, really good deck. I think this could be, like, legitimately good. I really like the first attack for early game, and, I mean, even if it's not the early game, even if your opponent's just got some Pokemon on their bench which have been damaged, and you can go after them, that would be nice. But I also love this second attack, because it actually starts running through your opponent's Pokemon pretty gosh darn quickly, and that seems really good to me. I'm giving this 4 Wassies. I think this legitimately, especially, if we get any kind of good grass energy acceleration in the future, or grass decks become really good, I think there is real potential for Zarude to be a legit card. But we also have to talk about Agron. And the other day I showed you Agron V Max, and I told you I wasn't a really big fan of Agron V Max. I told you I didn't think it was particularly good, it was too expensive, it didn't do enough damage or anything like that, and it wasn't good enough. In a weird twist, I like Agron V a lot more than I like Agron V Max, which is weird. Now, the 230 HP is huge and good. Retreat cost of 4 is high but expected. Resistance to grass is always nice. And what we've got here is free energy, 90 damage, plus 30 to 2 of your opponent's bench. Well, we just talked with Zarude, and I told you that actually there's not really any bench protection at the moment. So this is a kind of attack that could honestly start making some waves. This is one that could do pretty well. And it's expensive, sure, but being a metal Pokemon, we've got Bronzong to move energy from your other Pokemon. We've got Metal Saucer to accelerate a bit of energy from the discard pile. There are reasons to believe that this could actually be a little bit good. And look, you're not getting giant KOs here, but 90 to the active and 30 to 2 bench Pokemon, that's relevant. That is absolutely relevant. Start taking multiple KOs and all of that. I don't know. Maybe it's not going to work. Maybe I'm getting a little bit too excited over nothing. I don't know. All I can tell you is that I just really think this is cool and good, and I like this attack. Second attack is 5 energy, and 5 energy is stupid. But it does do 300 damage if your opponent's active Pokemon already has any damage counters on it. Now, bearing in mind, right, the V Max for 5 energy did 270 and 30 to yourself. The V for 5 energy does 300. And sure, you've got to have damage on the defending Pokemon, but if nothing else, just play a Galarian Zigzagoon. Just bench one Galarian Zigzagoon. Boom. 310 damage. 300 plus then the 10 that you just put on with Galarian Zigzagoon. And now you're into the territory of potentially one-hit KOing V Maxes. And look, you need a little bit more to one-hit KO V Maxes. Let's be clear. But not a huge amount more. Couple extra damage counters here or there. This could work. This could, legitimately work. And as much as I didn't like the V Max, and I don't, there really isn't very much about the V Max I like at all. I do think there is a little bit of potential with the Pokemon V. I think the attack costs are still dumb high, and I'm not going to argue against that. But I also think that there is a chance here that if you can get enough energy rolling, this is actually really, really cool. And I'm kind of a fan. I'm still going to give it 3 Wassies, and that still, because of the attack cost, feels like it might be slightly overly generous. I don't even really care. I think this has a chance in a way that a bunch of cards don't. But I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comments about both these cards, obviously. So let me know in the comments section, would you? Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.